Hear all the latest news and have your say. This is Montreal Now with Aaron Rand on CJAD 800.
So another semester begins at our universities here at Concordia and McGill, but it's only now that we're beginning to find out just how severely impacted they will be. And I'm speaking in this particular case about Concordia by the new regulations put in place by the CAC government. Graham Carr is the president and Vice-Chancellor of Concordia. He is on the line. Graham, thanks for being here.
Good afternoon, Aaron.
So last time we spoke, I think we were kind of talking about, well, it's not going to be good. We're not really sure about how this is going to play out. We know it's going to hurt. We just don't know how much. Well, now we know. So how bad is it?
It's pretty bad. So we're looking at a drop in new registrations from rest of Canada students of about 28% as of today, and a drop in new undergraduate international applications of 11% by comparison with the same time last year. So we've never seen anything like that in the recent history of the university.
So I would wonder, when people decided not to apply, and obviously this has to do with the policies enacted by the government, what were you hearing from either students or parents as to why this was happening? Was it directly because of this?
Well, certainly with regard to the students from the rest of Canada, we were hearing all last fall after the government made the initial announcement in the second week of October from students and parents who were concerned, confused about what the new tuition level would be, and we could see already, and we talked about it in the fall, and we talked about it publicly, and we talked about it with the minister, that there was a significant drop in applications happening at that point, and it was very clear that students were uncertain. They were concerned about the message that seemed to be coming their way from Quebec, and so naturally enough, they began applying to universities elsewhere. So we were seeing in the fall a decline in applications, and now that's converting into an understandable decline in actual registrations from new students.
Do you have any idea, beyond the financial changes, with respect to the French language, restrictions or rules that were now put in place? Did that have an effect, from what you can tell?
Yes, we know that more than anecdotally. We know that from calls that we would receive from students, both students from the rest of Canada and, interestingly enough, also from international students who are very confused around this point. And of course, we couldn't provide students with a clear answer about what the Quebec government's expectations were with regard to Francization, because the government hadn't made that clear. So we knew from mid-December on, when that particular announcement was made, that was causing an additional problem for us from a recruitment standpoint, not just domestically in the rest of Canada, but increasingly internationally as well.
So let me ask the dumb question now, Graham. Given what's gone on, and this is not anecdotally anymore, these things are actually happening, you're seeing these declines. Have there been any discussions with the government or the Minister of Higher Education, Pascal Derry, about the effects and about perhaps doing something about this or not?
The answer to that is unfortunately no, Aaron, and it's extremely concerning. I understand that at some point earlier today, the minister said that she would have no comment until the final numbers were in. So there's not going to be a miracle between now and the deadline to deregister to register for courses in mid September. We know what the reality is, and we've seen the pattern for months now. And I think this is, we were very clear with the minister. We track confirmation registration numbers day by day, and we've done that for years. So, we understand the business and we can see the pattern. And unfortunately, the pattern that we saw developing in the fall and accentuating over the winter is exactly what is leading to the reality that we're facing today.
I don't know. I mean, I know that you and McGill filed lawsuits independently, so I don't know how much talk there's been between the two. But from what you do know, even if it's anecdotally, Graham, has McGill been seeing the same sort of thing that you are?
So I don't know the answer to that, Aaron. I think we need to find out from McGill. I understand that bishops publicly today announced that or made it clear that they've seen a decline, and that's remarkable considering the fact that they were given a kind of laissez-passer by the government.
With respect to what this is going to do financially to the university, I think I saw a story last week already talking about the idea that, some things are going to have to change. I don't know if that means you're canceling some classes, laying off some people. What does it mean?
Well, the loss that we will be attributing to this decline in registration, because it's important to understand that student registration is the lifeblood of university finances, in addition to the more important contribution it makes to the culture and vibrancy of the university. I mean, that's why we want our students in the first place, but there's an important financial component to it as well. And the numbers as they now stand, the decline that we're looking at in new registrations, that represents for us a $15 million loss in revenue this year compared with last year. And we will experience a similar loss in revenue for each of the next 3 years because, of course, students come and register for us, are with us for 4 years. So that's a pretty significant bite. I have to say, I find it really hard to believe when the minister has said in the past that this is all about trying to strike a different balance between Francophone and Anglophone universities. I find it hard to understand how a 28% decline in rest of Canada students at Concordia, an 11% decline in new registrations from international students, and a $15 million addition to our debt load is weakening Concordia, and I don't understand how that's helping the francophone sector.
Yeah, which seemed like a smokescreen from the outset. I mean, just my opinion. I think a lot of people might perhaps suggest the same thing. Listen, with respect to this money, that's a significant amount of money. Will it mean you will have to cut classes or courses? What will happen?
Yeah, so we had a deficit last year as well, Aaron. So we had already begun a year ago with a number of measures to control our deficit. And obviously, last fall when the government made these announcements, we began running budget scenarios, anticipating the outcome that we're facing. So our strategy at this point is we've had a hiring freeze at the university for more than a year, except for truly essential positions. We've unfortunately not renewed some contracts. There are some activities that we've had to stop, and some other projects that we've had to put the pause on. We're doing everything we can to protect the academic and research mission of the university, which is our core mission. No programs are threatened by the change, but what it would mean, for example, is that in some courses where we would have in the past offered multiple sections to students, we'll now have fewer sections that are available. And when we authorize a course to go forward, we'll be much stricter on the registration in that course to make sure that it meets a threshold to go forward. So we're trying to focus on strategies such as that, which are the least disruptive to our academic and research mission. But it's not easy.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not. Graham, I thank you for the time, and I hope, maybe hope against hope, that the minister, in this case, Pascal Derry, who said what you say should get back to you when the final numbers were in, does in fact do that and realize what a terrible thing this has turned into. So that's just an opinion.
It's really, it's very unfortunate. I think it's unfortunate. I've said this before to you, Aaron. It's unfortunate not just for Concordia. I think it's very sad for Montreal. I think it's been, look at these numbers. This is not a great story that Quebec's telling outside the province.
Couldn't agree more. Graham, thank you so much for the time. I appreciate it.
And thank you.
Graham Carr, President and Vice-Chancellor of Concordia, and what they're going through now because of these CAC rules and restrictions now in place.